Hey, this is John Beatty. I'm here with Monster and the Iron Mask. Tune in to the NSDC Podcast.
All right, guys. Welcome to another episode of the NSDC. With me today, as always, is Don't Even Worry About It, Monster and the Iron Mask. And back for the second time, a special guest, Off-White Tim. How's everybody doing, man?
Yo.
What's up?
Let's just keep the conversation going because we're talking about Sergio saying our numbers are going up. You don't know what happened. What do you mean you don't know what happened?
No, it's not so much. I don't know. It's not that I don't know what's going on. It's just like, hey, like, you know, from 1 week we had like pretty similar numbers. And then from the next week we went up like by, 20, 30 views.
It's because, your boys know what they doing, dog. We know what
and
doing,
look, James McAvoy over here, Sergio, people finally getting the courage, because he's in one way he's, on camera, and then over here he's scaring people in the comment section.
Bro,
people excited about set collecting and fucking split personalities over here,
Wow.
He's hell mad. The guy barely picked out to say hi, and dude's like, and Sergio's like,
he stepped in, bro. He was writing a whole essay about lamenting the death of set collecting, and Sergio just put, ha, this shit's dead. I'm like,
first of all, I didn't put ha, so there was no laughing. It's just. Oh, wow. It's just, hey, welcome to the Marvel card hobby. I just want to let you know that if that was your intention,
is that what you wrote? You said, welcome to the Marvel card hobby.
That's what it meant.
Oh, wow.
Wow. The guy listening, please leave a comment to tell us you interpreted it that way.
And just ignore Sergio, you know what I'm saying? Like, we call him McAvoy. He switches up on you. There's a couple people like that in the hobby, you know what I mean? But
it's the only bi thing that I am, and it's bipolar, you know what I mean?
Oh, shit.
There you go, yeah. A little bicurious, a little bipolar, you know what I mean?
No, I said the only.
Wow. We're starting hot this
Sergio has his grumpy days. Please forgive him if he insults you.
Grumpy. I've been in a great mood.
His son probably beat him today. You know what I mean? He just
talk about it, Sergio. Marvel's Capcom.
That would never happen, bro.
Just throw the bat signal. Yo, free. Look, here's what's happening. He needs your help beating his son at Fortnite. You know what I mean? That's what's going on.
He needs help.
No, listen. Marvel's Capcom 2 came out. I've been,
shout out to Johnny. I know Johnny's having fun with it.
Yeah, Johnny's in the leaderboards, dog. Watch out.
But,
oh wow, Johnny, you hear that? Yo, ask him for that black suit sketch back, dog. Reroute that to my address real quick.
Listen, there's business and there's pleasure, Johnny. If you ever
business,
you're gonna have to upgrade. You're gonna have to upgrade to the PlayStation because I can't.
Oh, she just shitted on Nintendo, guys.
No, it's just facts.
Yo, let's bring out all the issues today, dude.
This is really more therapy session.
Tim turned off his mic.
Nah, bro, I came on the wrong week. I'll see you next week.
You stay.
You guys always say that I'm like quiet. You wonder why.
Oh wow.
No, listen, Marvel's Capcom 2, man. Honestly, it's just amazing. It's got good network. There's good compatibility to connect with other players. Obviously, they got ranked play, casual play. The galleries, like the museums, they call it, inside of the games, it's just amazing, man. Like, to see some of the artwork, the pretty much, like, the outlines of the game, of what it was supposed to look like, the character selection, like the prelims, basically, right? They posted the prelims of the game on the game, and that's just cool, man. Not stuff that you see every day. Usually, when you do look up Marvel's Capcom stuff, you're going to find, like, the biggest artwork used for the character select screen and like some of the other stuff, but this is like the prelims of the idea that made the game. So to be able to see that for the first time, at least for me, it was really dope. And I went through some of the other games, obviously, like Marvel Superheroes versus X-Men, Children of the Atom, and it's like I just went through it. I played with them with my son, and I played SmackDown.
So it's a whole collection of games, not just Marvel's Capcom.
No, it's the whole Capcom and Marvel collection.
Collection as a whole. Okay.
Yeah. Marvel's Capcom 2, obviously. They have a Punisher game they threw in there. It's a 2D kind of like side scroll, kind of fighting game, which is cool. Me and my son beat that today. Nice. Clash of Superheroes, which is the first one. X-Men versus Street Fighter, and it's just like originals, man. Just classics, man.
I might have to get. I thought it was just Marvel's Capcom, but yeah, I want to try.
It's just so good, man. If you got, I mean, listen, if you have a Switch, obviously, I think Switch can only play with Switch players. It does give you the option for cross-gen, but I don't know if maybe I haven't figured it out how to like connect by like a name. I haven't figured that out yet.
Okay.
Or maybe there's an update that comes out later, but
yeah.
Just listen. Overall, the game is very fluid. It feels great. The buttons feel great. The everything is, man. I honestly, it's what I dreamed about, man. It's what I thought it was gonna be, and I've been enjoying it. That's what I've been doing for the past since 9/12.
I mean, Johnny was playing that day, like
that day.
Yeah, bro. And just speaking on that subject, I know you talked about it before. We got these variant covers, right?
Yeah.
I'm
gonna share my thought on it. I do like it, right? Like obviously the idea, the artwork is the biggest artwork from the game.
Yeah.
But when I read like the message, maybe obviously since you don't have the full detail, I thought it was gonna be like
new
original new Bengus artwork. I thought they were I thought that's what it was gonna be. I thought that maybe they were gonna revive him into like the Marvel card cover or something like that. That would have been cool. But yeah, I mean, I guess this is what the release is, and when my physical copies are available, if you guys want to get physical copies, from the rumor, it's supposed to be that these are going to be exclusives for the physical copy. I know that there's some people already selling like the physical online, but I don't know how that's going to work when obviously it's on pre-order.
I'm excited, man. Are they going to have virgin variants?
I'm not sure, man. I would assume that they might be out there.
No, probably. Well, yeah, I don't know. Seems like they're gonna have the logo.
Yeah, that's not that bad. Just the name on the bottom. But
I never noticed. He has like pink here for the shadows or the highlights.
The highlights, yeah.
Pretty sick.
Look at the
cross hatching.
The Psylocke too has the same thing.
Well, I know it says based on this. I don't know if you guys know. There's a gentleman called what's his name? I'm sorry. He's like a gamer. He reviews like games and stuff. Oh, Maximilian Dude.
Mm-hmm.
He dropped an episode. I'm gonna drop the link so if you guys do want to like watch it at some point.
Yeah.
They brought up the old the Bengus stuff, like all that good stuff, and they asked him, where did you get your inspiration from? And he said Jim Lee was the inspiration. Little known fact, Bengus and Jim were working on a game prior to this that was never released. Again, I don't know the full detail, but I know it's on the Maximilian Dude situation. They posted it on Twitter. I'm gonna send you guys the link so you can see it and share it. Yeah, but that's the comic covers for.
I need one of these. For sure.
Yeah.
I need that Thanos. I need that Wolverine.
The Thanos is great, bro. The Thanos is
the
great.
Wolverine, I've been talking about that Wolverine.
Psylocke is
the Psylocke is dope. I mean,
and the Storm. To me, it's the Storm, Psylocke.
The Storm.
Storm.
The Storm looks really good. I will say though, I was a little bit upset. I think that you probably could have pulled maybe like a name. I would have liked the Gambit in there, but we didn't get a Gambit cover.
Yeah, this is hard. The Gambit's good, but it's not.
I think the Iron Man's the weakest. I think that's the weakest.
I like this. So, I think this is hard, bro.
Yeah. That's tough.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah. Interesting.
But the Storm is probably the one.
The Storm is.
Yeah.
And that's where I don't understand the Avengers logo, because at least on the Wolverine, they just put Wolverine.
So I guess that's the Avengers 21. So they're all tied to different
comic titles.
Yeah.
So comics are so weird how all that stuff works.
That's probably why you didn't get the Gambit, because they used whatever they used for X-Men. They had 2 issues. 3 issues for X-Men.
Psylocke over the Gambit? I don't know.
I'm not mad at Psylocke over Gambit for that artwork, but for sure over the Iron Man. That's crazy.
But that's cool. Iron Man, I think. This is sick. I like that. Yeah. That's dope.
Which brings me to another one here, and I know that you played Doom a little bit. You guys were playing on Switch, but I hopped on with my son and we started playing Shredder's Revenge.
Yeah.
Play some Turtles.
Yeah.
And that shit was dope. And my son was getting mad. He's like, I'm picking Splinter. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna pick Mikey. I was gonna pick Raphael. I was gonna let him do his thing.
Yeah.
But after every stage, he's like, damn, who's got the most combos? Me. Who's got the most hit streaks? Me. Like, come on. I told him, I said, you're not gonna beat me at a 2D game, bro. That's just not gonna happen.
And for the viewers out there, his son is much older. He's not just beating a kid in video games.
No, his son is 4. Just so you guys know.
My son's 16. You know?
Yeah. He's like, yo, he keeps telling us how much he's watching his son in these games. I'm like,
imagine this son's coming out of preschool. You ready, motherfucker?
yeah. Grab the stick.
Yeah, that's funny.
No, yeah, they go out. Sure.
Those are classic.
His son did call him out on Fortnite. We got video.
Yeah.
Hey, but I will say, we were talking about the original, Super Nintendo, like the side scroll. Man, that game was so good. Like Shredder's Revenge is good, and it does give you that nostalgia feel of like the Super Nintendo.
Yep.
But man, like Turtles were my probably like favorite thing when I was a kid. I never beat the NES game because it's so fucking.
Yeah,
hard.
they were tough, bro. They were tough.
Like, how did they expect people to beat those games, bro? Like,
well, that's why they used to have those call centers.
Yeah.
In the day where you used to call in and they would give you advice on how to beat them.
Well, the call centers are going to help you out when like the
no, when you're like 8 or 10, but for sure the adults that were playing at the time for sure got assists.
Oh yeah.
You had to get that Game Shark, Sergio. That's what
Fuck, bro. You remember that, the Game Genius?
That's why there were some games that I don't want to name them because you guys are about to try to go in on me and pause, so I won't name them. But there was definitely games where they were too difficult. I'm like, dude, I'm trying to play. I'm not trying to fucking crack a code right now.
What do you mean, dog? Give me an example.
You're hella slick, psychiatrist, but I can't do that.
I would say Zelda. The Zelda games were tough, bro.
I never played those Zelda.
That's a good example right there, and we'll use that example.
Listen, if you played any Zelda game, regardless of whether it was NES, 64, Super Nintendo, dude, it's easy. It's not like super hard or anything, but it's like to figure out some of the puzzles, and then you don't have like a Game Informer,
bro.
Yeah,
no, that's why they have strategy guides, bro. Like, you do it all on your own.
I couldn't buy strategy guides, Tim.
I couldn't afford the strategy guides.
Well, that's why you had the internet. You had gamesages.com. Yeah, you get
Netscape wasn't fast enough. Netscape wasn't fast enough.
Yeah, the DSL wasn't.
Right, that's why you go to school and you print it out. Come on now.
Well, the library.
That was in middle school. I wasn't printing out shit and fucking.
You remember printing out lyrics to songs? That was the thing.
Yeah. I was printing out. To be honest, dog, I was printing out scripts for movies.
Bro, my older brother and I, we used to go to the library. We used to be able to print 10 pages worth of stuff. We used to print Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah, Dragon Ball Z covers and put them in the white binders, dog. Come on.
Yeah. Those are
looking up like Super Saiyan like 100,
Yeah.
The
crazy, unreleased. It was all fan art and shit.
Yeah, I remember that too. I was printing out the script from Scream. I was into Scream, that movie. And the first one from, I think, 1999. And I was printing off the whole script, right? No, for sure. We're printing out the script. And the teacher, like whoever was in charge of the printer, passed by and because that shit wouldn't stop printing. And they're like, "Who printed this?" I was like, "I have no clue, sir."
Wait, bro. All right, take me. I've never heard anyone print out a script. Why?
I mean, there's a lot of whys. At the time, I was just into like, a lot of the times we would have the movies if you had them bootleg on tape, there was no DVD at the time.
Yeah.
At least I didn't have DVDs. You couldn't use captions if they're bootleg. So there was shit that I wanted to read as I'm watching the fucking movie. Yeah, and also I was like probably like 11 or 12 at the time. Yeah, probably 11. So yeah, that's what I was into, man. I was into reading movie scripts because I enjoyed that more so than actually reading a book for whatever reason.
Yeah. Well, because you probably already watched it, so you're visualizing while you're reading it again.
Yeah, that might have been it for sure.
Yeah,
so that was dope. And then some other stuff down the road that I might, share why I would print them out, but I'll leave that out for now. Yeah. Nice. But yeah, that was the main thing I remember because, and then you were lucky because some printers, Tim, you could print out the DBZ stuff, but some of them only printed in black and white. It wasn't until I got to like middle school where they had some color printers in the school that we had access to.
You needed that library card, dog. I used to the library. When my local library got the color printer, all the kids were in the library.
Yeah, man, they're like, damn, these kids are really, really committed.
Yeah. I had a whole binder full of like lyrics, rap lyrics.
Yeah.
That was the thing in the school.
Who were you listening to, dog? Back in
Bone, Pac,
Thugs?
Yeah, Dr. Dre.
You guys were messing with the Super Street comics. I mean Super Street magazine with like all like the
Overstreet.
I was messing with the import tuners. If you remember that one.
Exactly, like the import tuner magazine, but like there was one called like Super Street that was pretty popular back then.
No,
I might have seen it, but I forgot what it looked like.
I had the lowrider magazines. That's all I had.
Oh man, you know, that's definitely nostalgia. Like you were talking about like high school shit like that. Yeah, I used to have like the car racing. You know, the Fast and the Furious days.
Bro, I was just gonna ask you. Fast and the Furious came out. That had a whole like effect.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. Well, the last thing I would say, as far as magazines, I was into that Popular Science. I don't know if you guys remember that.
Well, you know, the National Geographic as a kid, you know.
National Geographic, Sports Illustrated.
Yo, do you guys still remember that girl with the different colored eye on the cover?
Different color,
yeah,
what?
yeah, the
right?
different color eyes.
Yeah,
she's like Pakistani or something like that.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
The
super
famous
iconic
photo.
Yeah. Isn't that crazy how everybody remembers her and you don't even know her name?
Well, when you didn't have as many like resources today, like that was like pretty much like the jam. It was National Geographic,
and the
Popular
TV
Science,
TV
encyclopedias.
They're I was on the thesauruses, dog.
Thesaurus, huh?
Yeah. Synonyms and all that.
No, that's definitely had an encyclopedia. You talking about this, right?
Yeah, that one right there.
Yep.
I guess she didn't have. Oh, she did have different colors on the one, or am I tripping?
She's from refugee in Pakistan.
There you go.
Yeah, he called it. Yeah,
So,
Sergio. Come on, dog. Sergio's been out there, and not for good reasons. But
I mean, yes.
Wow.
I mean, am I lying? What's going on? Well,
Sergio, you've been around the world, right?
How's the song go? Been around the world and now, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Play, I hate it. Nah,
I thought because of the service you've been around the world.
I've been in that side of the world. It's not very not very fun.
Not very hospitable.
It's crazy. No, I wouldn't say so. Nature, people, just,
Yeah. You're not lying.
Look at them nervous. Like, let's talk about something.
No,
this is the stuff that gets like clipped.
Wait, hold on. Why are you projecting all these feelings on that?
All these feelings. Here? Well, let's get into it. Let's keep talking about war.
Hey, big shout out to True Blue. Also being a vet. Big shout out to you vet collectors out there, man. Drop if you guys are, drop a link. There's a couple of them out there, man. But like I said, it's so weird, like the Instagram space. Because there's so many comic book guys. Tim, am I lying, bro? There's so many comic book people on Instagram, bro. It's wild. You know what I mean? I don't know if they started from like during the boom, people were like selling comics. I actually saw someone post the other day like, hey man, I guess I'm retiring from selling comics, going back to work. Like, damn, I mean, a lot of people were selling comics during the boom, man.
And myself included, bro.
It's crazy.
Flipping books like crazy.
What do you think? I mean, listen, other than like probably like sheer boredom, like what do you think like brought up like the comic boom like that? Like what do you think made it like? Was it just like the fact that we just had like a little bit more like liquid money because we were all getting like COVID checks and just like fuck it,
That's one thing I don't believe.
That has to be a huge part. No, it has to be. Though.
I don't think so, man. Personally, because check this out. Like, how many stimulus checks were there, and how many, and for what dollar amounts?
But it wasn't just about the stimulus checks. People weren't paying for vacations. People weren't paying to go out. People weren't like I at least I live in New York, so like people were out and about Monday through Friday, weekends even more. So like, I mean, I bro, my bank account, I'll spend like $400 on the weekend living in New York City. So like all that money that you would have spent, now you have it available in your home, and you don't have anywhere to go. That my wife and I, we budget vacation every year. We didn't go on vacation,
but I feel like also we grew in like collectors, right? Like there's more collectors came in because of that like time era, because some people came around and they stuck around.
I agree with that, but I don't think that it was isolated to just comics. Like everything was going through a boom. Pokemon cards, like you name it, you name a collectible, and it was booming at the time. Yeah,
sports cards.
I mean, content creators.
Yeah.
How many people started YouTube channels during that time?
Let's not bring that up.
No, that was a lot. I mean, for any one hobby, there's very few at one point. Now you can just go watch anything, whatever you're into now. There's like 10 people talking about it.
When it came to comics, I watched Comics Historian, Variant, Comics Explained. Those were like the main ones, and then the pandemic happened. Like everyone became there was so many comic book YouTubers that got hot during the pandemic.
Yeah, I never noticed a lot of the people that started for the comics. At least I noticed for cards, some sports cards people that I saw that had cool channels like Sasha T. We've brought him up before.
Yeah, Sasha T was dope.
He was cool, and because there wasn't a lot of people at the time that were as transparent as he was. He was on another level though with fleasing, but he was open fleasing, and it was open season on everybody. It was his own friends too, which is crazy. But there was a lot of people like that just kind of disappeared. I'm not saying they're not in the hobby. For all I know, he's still killing the game privately, but he's just not making videos, or anything. There was another guy that was making videos as well. But yeah, as far as comic books, I never noticed any until Free put me on to like Near Nirvana and some other channels. Because I've always been more so like listening to podcasts, like especially comedy. I've always fucked with comedy. That's the main thing I listen to.
Yeah, me too. A lot of the comedy podcasts, and it started when I was like in college. This is all I listened to. I've been listening to a podcast for over 15 years now. Some of these. Which is weird. It's just a comic book podcast. 11 o'clock comics. I even before I even open a comic book, I always listen to it because I just like to hear the history and the characters and the creators and their opinions on them. But
yeah, all about the podcast. I mean, I used to commute to work and always had a podcast on. My thing was always movie podcasts. So like We Hate Movies.
How Did This Get Made?
How Did This Get Made?
That's a good one.
And it was always had like a comedic blend to it too. So
yep.
I loved them. I would download them right before I got on the train to go home, just so I could hear when the train went underground.
There was a guy that I listened to very little because he didn't do well. Specifically, I was into the Prometheus movies, and
Fire.
Yeah, his name was Croft. Like I think his main channel is Croft Talks About Movies, but he also had like a little other channel he made only going into like. He would go balls deep on the whole Prometheus, and like he would explain like everything that was going on in the movie, maybe like Easter eggs people missed. That was pretty dope. But that was the main one I listened to, man. And then I got upset because the remake that's about to drop is not with Ripley Scott anymore, and I wanted that timeline and that storyline to be continued. Like I really wanted to see, I don't know if you ever saw those movies, but like. Where the engineers lived, because in the Alien Covenant, the last one, that wasn't actually where they lived. That was like another race that they created as well that they thought were engineers. It was a super interesting plot.
Prometheus was awesome. I didn't even know it was a Aliens movie until the end.
Yeah,
so that was kind of the shock for me, and that was probably the height of my curiosity when it came to the Aliens franchise, and then Covenant kind of didn't deliver for me.
Yeah, no.
Unfortunately, but people forget that there were moments, man. I remember listening to podcasts around like Breaking Bad.
Yeah,
I remember like the last couple of seasons of Breaking Bad, Walking Dead. There used to be all these podcasts that used to cover the episodes, and it was like I had like 4 or 5 podcasts to whatever show I was watching, leading to like the next episode or whatever. It was a thing.
Yeah. Well, speaking of that, I remember when people were super heavy into Game of Thrones and people breaking down the episodes and all that. Speaking of that, shout out to back in the game, Rohan. I think he did that with House of Dragons.
Yeah, he had his own podcast.
I can definitely tell you, I've never seen like House of Dragons. I've never seen Game of Thrones. I've never seen until recently. I've never seen the John Wick movies. I recently just saw the first and the second one. Like
fire, right?
Those are classic.
Well, I mean, listen. We grew up. I mean, listen. I'm 37. You know, like I told I explained to my son like some of these movies. I'm more of a John Claude Van Damme guy. John Claude Van Damme,
above the law, bro.
John Claude Van Damme, dog. Stop.
Bloodsport, like
Bloodsport.
John Claude Van Damme's a freak though. Now that you look back at it, he always doing a scene. He always had a scene for himself in them scripts.
I haven't watched it in a while, dog.
Bro,
Jackie Chan, come on. You gotta give props to Jackie Chan, dog.
Listen, I remember, but that's what I'm talking about. Like when that movie came out, when Rumble in the Bronx came out, man, I watched it in theater. Like I watched it in the movies, and like I feel like if something that was even remotely similar to that came out today, then I think I've said this before. Same thing with the Marvel movies, and this is how I feel about like the movie like industry right now. The problem is that there won't be another Jackie Chan movie because Jackie Chan's still alive. So no one's gonna go and no one's gonna go be like the new Jackie Chan, and that's like the problem. Is that I get it, Jackie's Jackie, but like bro, you got the jersey's pretty much hung up. You got some movies, but it's not Rumble in the Bronx.
No, yeah.
And I don't know if it's maybe like that the movies back then because of like the cameras and stuff were just like grittier, like it felt different.
No, bro, it's just you're getting old, dog. It's just nostalgic, dog. We're getting old.
Did you not like John Wick?
No, I did, but it was refreshing because usually, like the usual movies are like I feel like they're like repeats of just other stuff that we've seen as kids. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I will say on the John Wick, it did.
John Wick was good.
It's dope as fuck because every single movie had its own thing going on. Like in the first one, the whole dog shit, and the second one, I love how Halle Berry had her 2 fucking trained German shepherds or whatever that other race of dogs is called with the guns and the fucking bulletproof vest on. But then on the third one, the angles that they had on the top of the camera,
scene where it goes above, and it's like a video game. Yeah.
The only thing I couldn't get into.
Shit.
Oh, the fourth one. You mean the fourth one?
Sorry, my bad. The fourth one. Yeah.
Yeah.
The only thing I couldn't get into, man, and obviously for you WWE guys, it didn't bother you probably, but like how many times this motherfucker got hit by cars, and I was like, God damn, bro, you still alive? Yo, how many stairs did this motherfucker roll off of?
But that's where you are. But him killing like 40,000 people.
Well, don't even worry about that.
No, you just got.
And look, his suit at least explained why it was bulletproof or whatever. But
right, that was a weird fabric. Yeah, that was real, dog. Hey, come on.
I don't know. I'll buy it if it is. Dog, let me know. I gotta get some tailored shit before I go to one of these cons.
Elusive shows up in like a 3-piece suit. No one knows why.
Oh, you'll know why.
I want those gold coins.
Tim, I was thinking about I was watching some Batman the other day, and I'm just like, yo, why doesn't someone just like shoot him in the face? Does everybody just like miss the face? Is that like what it is?
That's funny.
Is there some kind of lore that I don't know about Tim?
Not everybody has good aim. You know what I mean? That's the problem.
That is a very good point.
Tim, is there some kind of lore I don't know?
They brought that up with Dumb and Dumber. Remember? What did she shot you in the face? Well, that's a risk we were willing to take.
I'll say this. In the Christopher Nolan movies, no, real talk. The Christopher Nolan movies, because he's a very practical thinker, right? And the way he structured those movies was like how people would actually react. In the Christopher Nolan movies,
be careful.
There weren't. It was hard for them to get pictures of him, so people didn't really know what Batman looked like, other than if you remember in Batman Begins, the stuff with the Narrows, where people were looking up and he's flying and he looks like a demon bat.
Yeah.
Right? So that's part of the mythos is like, oh, people have never seen him. So when they do see him, you're more in shock than anything. It's like, I don't know. My dad used to scare us a lot. So my dad used to scare us all the time. He used to go to the freaking flea market and buy werewolf masks, demon or whatever. And then
that's some real Latino shit right there. But yeah.
100%. He used to he'll sit right next to the bed while and waiting for us to wake up so we could see him right there with the mask. With the mask. You understand? But in my head, I'm thinking it's an actual demon. Obviously, the mask is cheap, but you're not expecting it. So that's how I think.
And when you're in shock, why do you think a lot of people you can't even take their account as an eyewitness for fact? Because everybody says
you sound crazy.
They see. Oh, not only that, they see different things than what actually happened.
Yeah,
their mind starts playing tricks on them, and you might say, "Hey, I saw a guy with a black mask and glowing eyes," and Sergio might say, "I saw something different." And everybody will say, their mind, fills in the blanks. In other words,
but as a kid, Tim's imagination is running wild. And that werewolf has red eyes. Glowing red eyes.
Bro,
your dad sounds patient as fuck. Bro, I'll tell you that.
I'll throw a freaking bottle of oil at that freaking demon.
That is crazy. For sure that's a Hispanic thing, and also when they tell you you better behave because otherwise so and so is coming to get you.
Boy, dog.
Oh my!
Something.
Listen, shout out to my pops. My pops was all about the jump scares. Anything he could do to scare you, he would. And he was a pro at it, man. He'll be quiet. He'll stay in a corner. He'll duck down. He'll be in that however long it took. He was fully committed to scaring people.
Listen, the lore of Nicaragua is usually what they call La Llorona, which means the woman that's crying.
Yeah,
and obviously supposed to be like a ghost, and it's really what it is. And this is what my grandfather explained to me. He's like, what you actually hear when you hear it, it's probably some mountain lion out there. He's out there howling it up.
Yeah.
And I was like, I mean, it makes sense. If you ever heard a mountain lion, yell like that, it sounds like a woman screaming. It's kind of crazy. But,
I mean, we had something similar. In Puerto Rico, it was the chupacabra. My uncle used to tell me about the chupacabra.
No, I remember that.
You go to the country, you hear the chupacabra at night, and it's coyotes and stuff. But we thought it was real.
That's crazy.
They even made a song about the chupacabra, which is crazy.
Did.
Remember that?
I'm sure the Dominicans made a reggaeton,
it's funny because Mexicans, we have both the chupacabra and the La Llorona and el cucuy. You know what I mean? That's the other one.
Yeah.
The Llorona too. What's funny is when I heard it, it's funny when Tim was saying that, or Sergio too, because you would hear La Llorona after a while. When multiple people would tell me, I'm like, bro. God damn, dude.
Wow.
There was one over here.
You're gonna have to clip this.
This is one. I'm gonna keep doing. I'm just gonna bleep it.
Is this what we're gonna clip? Oh wow.
Nah, it's just it's it's funnier that way too. But gosh.
But isn't that true?
It is true.
If the views start going back down, you already know why.
Yeah. Look, I will say,
we're talking about horror stuff.
How old were you when you had that observation?
7 or 8.
Bro, you next level.
Because in Mexico, I was 4, right? Before I left, and they would tell me that consistently. So that's when I thought, I was like, multiple people are just doing that? That's crazy.
That's hilarious, bro.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
Oh, my God.
Jeez.
Yeah, that's funny. They got those, those. I remember the chupacabra for sure.
I was a conspiracy theorist early on.
Jesus.
I can tell. Oh, bro. That's a hell of a start.
You're like, where do we go from
here? Dude? Let's see.
Dude got so caught up he couldn't find a segue.
I know he couldn't. Put some elevator music.
That's how you know it's good. Doom is stumped.
I'm gonna keep a lot of it in there. Yo, Sergio, I'm gonna start with you, bro. Which one you want to go with? Are we doing Surfer or Batman first?
Yeah, did he send you
show the server. Show the server.
All right, here we go. Nice, lovely card right here.
Yeah. I never actually pulled this one out. I've had this for quite a bit.
The buyback
for facilitating the sale.
Card, nice.
Thank you, bro.
Facilitated. What do you mean by that? Can you expand on that?
He made the sale happen. When I was looking for a surfer, I remember I asked Elusive. I'm like, I'm looking for something, and I guess you already knew Fausto at that point. And yeah, man, it's just something that I've had in the collection for a little bit now, and I've been kind of messing around with the outline of the page, and it just kind of fell into the mix there. So
Nice.
it's a pretty cool card. I think this is the best looking buyback of all the Surfer buybacks.
Surfers, yeah.
And other than that, just having a little fun with the imagery, the artwork and stuff, and just enjoying the hobby a day at a time, man. Really, just chill.
For sure.
It's a great looking card, man.
Yeah.
Then we got this. What is this, Sergio? What
All
are we
right.
looking
So, I mentioned I've been looking at some Batman things, and there's not too much Batman stuff. Like obviously how X-Men has like Metal and Alliance and all these other drops.
Mhm.
So I kind of had to do a little bit of digging, and I went backwards, and back in 96, 95, stuff like that. Holograms are cool. I'm usually not big into shiny cards, but I found this pack of Six Flag Batman holograms, and I kind of just had like a gut feeling. I'm like, yo, like I feel like since it's like together, they might have actually maybe remained together for a long time. They might have been taken care of in some sort,
Mm-hmm.
And when I got them in hand, man, they actually came in pretty clean. So on the left you have like Batman punching Joker. On the right you have obviously the Bat Signal hologram, and they're pretty clean, man. Like I'm pretty happy with them.
Yeah, I like
that Batmobile. You don't need that one, right?
Oh, the Batmobile one too is nice.
Yeah, 1989.
I like the punching one though, the best. I think.
Just like the effect, yeah, and like obviously, we have all these new shiny cards, which again, they're cool and stuff. But as I'm picking up, these are like my first Batman cards.
Nice.
And they were inexpensive, relatively. There's a couple other online, but this is the only one that came as like a set with like the original like little baggie. So I was like, yeah, that's cool, man.
This is totally something. Shout out to Andrew. Would post something for this, right?
A little envelope thing for sure.
Yeah,
For sure.
But Andrew, don't even worry about it.
Man.
And with those little stains that look like dry blood, that you would love it even more.
That's crazy.
I'm fucking around, Andrew.
Honestly, to me, it's just something like, yeah. Listen, who knows where this was, but like legit, like if I pull the cards out of the sleeve, you'd be like, yeah, those are pretty clean.
I love looking at the old just font type selection. The designs of these things. It's pretty sick, man.
Yeah, because back in those days, they really put in thought into a lot of their marketing and ads and stuff like that. Because that's either that and it was either that and TV. That's all they had.
Yeah. The market things for sure. Keeping it Batman. Elusive dropped this week. What are we looking at, bro?
I mean, you gotta do your homework, but that's definitely.
Wow.
Nah, for those that don't know, it's like it's a page, an interior page from the Batman Spawn book. And to me, this should have been the cover instead of what the cover was. Personally, I enjoy this cover more. It's a dope. I love the grays. I'm gonna try to recreate this myself. I just love the colors on the suit, like the shading, the cross hatching.
It's dope. It's
super dope. Yeah.
What's this over here though? Well, he has like a.
Oh, that's when Doom gets in his way. Don't even worry about it.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
Listen,
he calls it the pew pew.
I will say if DC could take some notes, man, because listen, the card design layout looks great. Like it literally looks like it was meant to be like a comic cut or something like that.
Yeah.
That's really dope. It's designed really well. Looks fairly centered. I mean, looks really clean.
Thanks, man. Yeah, I'm with something like this. I'm just hopefully I could get a 9 if I ever do grade some of those.
Yeah, no,
you gotta get that sign too, man.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Hopefully I could get it signed and he doesn't have any bodyguards or anything. I could just go straight up and you know what I mean? Yeah. I mean, I gotta catch him before he gets bigger. In other words, that's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Tim, I know you're excited about this one though.
Oh, man.
Yeah, man. I saw this card. It's a gorgeous card. It took a while for one to hit eBay, and then one finally hit the Facebook group, so I was able to pick it up. But I believe it's Travis Childress. and he's a pretty well known artist in the comic book space. He actually did sketch cards way back in the day, like 2007, 2008 Masterpiece. He has some sketch cards in that set, but just great art.
It's
That's
a nice
one of
great
the
art.
best.
She looks like a classy Scarlet Witch. Though I will say though, not because I want to point out anything, but again, it's just where my eye is drawn. She does have the little penguin hand going on.
Yeah, it's because you don't see any like separation of fingers.
Yeah.
But
I'm cool with that. I'm cool with that.
No, I know.
Yeah, the PMGs are you can see it's a little bit chewed up across the top, but it's like every copy that I saw kind of has the same issue.
Some of those are tough.
Yeah, I'm not looking to grade them. I picked it up. It was pretty inexpensive. Avengers Metal's been fun too. Like some of the art choices are like really great, and so and a lot of these like base set PMGs are pretty affordable too. So
I will say though, I could only imagine if that was the retro, then that shit would have.
Retro would have been dope.
Don't get me wrong. Listen, this looks good, but again, like that I think they did really well on like the PMG, like foil, you know.
Yeah. The retros look awesome. The 2013 throwback retros. I would have preferred this image on the retro.
That would have been sick.
I like the image that they use for Scarlet Witch on the retro, but it's very safe. I feel like they use similar Scarlet Witch imagery on every PMG since.
Yeah. And is this one like kind of a one-off for you, Tim, or are you gonna start collecting Scarlet Witch sporadically?
Nah, I've changed the way I've collected so many different times. This one was just I enjoy the art and it was affordable. That's it. It was just simple.
Can you explain that a little bit, Tim? Like when you're like, yo, I just kind of changed the way I collect. Is it like
I mean, when
like how was it changed? What would you say?
Well, I've tried everything. I've tried character collecting. I've tried back collecting, which was just, I mean, talk about L's. I was just losing money left and right trying to back collect. Coming in the game, I was going after like SSAs and what if autos from 2018, and
I remember that.
I lost a ton of money going after, and I finally got some of the bigger ones, and then and it was hard to find like Iron Man and Cap and Thor. When I did find them, I had to pay a super high premium. And when I sold them, I got nothing close to what I paid for them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I can attest to that. So, I had the biggest one, and same thing. I lost some money on it, on the Spider-Man.
Yeah, so it was like, oh, I'm not going to back collect no more. I'm just going to look forward. And then, so I started, collecting cards and going forward. But then this stuff, Marvel cards are so volatile. It's hard to justify pricing. And even if it makes sense at the time, so even if a card is like $1,000 right now, doesn't mean it's always going to be that. What I've learned throughout the years is that patience is kind of a virtue, and if you're patient enough, you'll be able to get what you want.
Yeah.
But also, sometimes when you're chasing stuff, the hobby becomes more about goals chasing than having fun. And to me, this just feels fun to me. I can pick up a card for sub $150 and be happy with it.
Yeah.
Well, that makes sense. That's dope.
That's dope. And this is one of my favorite artworks in the set. I would put the Iron Man retro as my favorite card of the set overall. But this is up there. I recently bought a copy of this Lowrider magazine, which was a Lowrider Marvel collab for the all-new Ghost Rider in, I believe it's 2014. So inside it has like a preview for the first issue of Robbie Reyes.
Yeah.
And shout out to Free. Free's the one who told me about this, you say over a year ago.
Yeah.
And I've always kept track of them, but there's two versions. There's the comic book version that says Ghost Rider, and then there's the actual Lowrider magazine that uses the same cover. This one's tougher to find, so I'm like, I found a decent copy. It was in the slab, but I cracked it out because I just want to see what's inside. And funny enough, like the model they use here and this Impala is actual like a car and a model inside the magazine that they drew up for the cover, which I thought was pretty neat. And you can see.
Does it have a foreign version?
Bro, if there is, I would love one, but I don't know. Like, it's just hard to find. I haven't seen it.
You could GCD it, but yeah, you could GCD it. But that looks like a straight up like American comic. That's really dope, man.
Yeah. I'm saying for the trio, you know, if there was one foreign you liked for the trio.
Oh, bro. Yeah, and you know what? You know what's crazy about this, bro? This was probably one of the most fun posts I've had. Just because, remember, Elusive, first episode we ever talked about, bro, this is nostalgic to me.
Yeah.
I was a little kid. I was like 8 years old, going with my dad to the corner store and him picking me up a lowrider magazine, and then like the cashiers looking at us all weird and shit. Because obviously, as a kid, like it had women in the front and shit. And like I was all about the fucking the cars, right? Like the design, and you know, if you know a little bit about lowriders, like the crazy designs that they would go and these are like pieces of artwork. They're not even cars. Like there's so much detail in it, and it was just so much fun when I got this in hand and opening it up. It has like the little subscribe, like little postcard inside. It just brought back a lot of memories as a kid because I would get these and then I would draw the cars. Right, I would look at the magazine and draw the cars. It was fun, and in a way, it made me appreciate the character. The character feels more. Even though this is a new character, it's tied to nostalgia now, so it's like I don't know, it's different than collecting Doom. And we'll see how it goes, but it's fun. I have fun with that one for sure.
What are you saying that you're like you got a little Ghost Rider collection?
I got a little Ghost Rider collection.
That's cool, but specifically the Robbie Reyes, not the
Robbie. Yeah, but it's it's funny because. When we talk about it, we all start collecting different styles, right? I didn't jump in as a character collector when I first got in. First thing I got was like Gambit and the Doom 2099, and then I bought an X-Men 92 Jim Lee box, and I opened the box. Like that was my first introduction to Marvel cards. But there's moments when certain characters feel like your character, right? You feel like there's a connection there. I don't know if you guys have experienced it, but I had many fucking collections over the years. I had Spider-Woman. I forget some. I know Elusive reminds me of some along the way, but there's times where you feel like you're just collecting shit just to collection, and there's sometimes where it feels like, no, this is meant to be with me.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
That's what I gained from this. Even just. I started reading the actual issue and the run. So I don't know. I don't know how crazy it'll be, but for sure, I don't see myself not having something related to this character just because it's connected to this.
Yeah, to me, it seems like instead of a Ghost Rider collector, you're going to start maybe getting more into the lowrider magazine collection.
I have been looking at some, and even like a lot of the artwork, like I'm a huge fan of Mr. Cartoon. I think who was Sergio? You posted the Spider-Man. Like, damn, I had the PSA 10. I had a copy. I need to go get one.
Yeah, I remember that. We did a trade. I gave it to you raw, and you 10 that shit. Yeah.
Yeah.
I have my BGS 9 still, but it's a great looking card for sure.
But like when you posted it, I'm like, bro, that's like culture. That's what I grew up with. Like, I'm not a Spider-Man guy, but like, if I don't have a copy of this, it just doesn't feel right. You know what I mean? Like, I gotta go back and get one.
That one's dope.
Because that's just hard. And Mr. Cartoon is a legend. So, and I've been looking at like lowrider magazines and even like the art magazines with Mr. Cartoon on there. So. Shit like that.
The most recent one was that Pichomoko, the funeral car. Man, that was just. I know
Bro,
I
like
probably brought that up like 3-4 times. But that's crazy.
That was the shit. Like,
Tim, you've seen that?
Which one?
Yeah, the Pichomoko funeral car.
Yeah,
No.
because it is called funeral card. That's what she called it, right? It was a couple weeks ago, and I think this was from 2017, if I'm not mistaken.
That's wild.
This one right here, like this, just brought a whole
Oh
vibe. That was like,
wow.
bro, that's lowrider art stickers that I used to collect. Like that's the vibe of it.
That's super
Yeah.
impressive.
Like
Even for her,
you
Yeah.
she
know,
normally does very simplistic style. That's
No,
a
listen,
That's
ton of detail.
2017 though. That's
the
an old, yeah.
the license plate with the kanji, like that's just come on, bro. Like
and tying it
That's
in with
fire.
the whole movies we're talking about, Doug. Remember the Monte Carlo from Training Day?
Yes, classic,
Yeah.
Come on, bro.
classic, bro.
Yeah.
Bro, I mean, like it's again nostalgia, right? And for me now, it's more of like that era and the culture. I don't know. There's a connection that's interesting that I haven't experienced before with other collectibles, but I love that lowrider magazine, and I got the comic book. I haven't posted it yet, but I got it too. I would love to see if there's a foreign one out there. That'd be fire, bro.
It sounds like
Yeah.
you're collecting now things that have meaning that kind of transcends the genre of the hobby.
Yeah, well, and I always talk about me and Tim starting looking at wrestling cards. Tim, like, we've been talking for what, maybe over a year now. Like, I don't even know when it was around the time Masterpieces was around when we started talking.
Yeah.
But early on, and shout out to Will and Shane, like, we had things in common as a group where, like, oh, we listened to this wrestling podcast, right? And these guys are super into wrestling. They know the history. Tim knows the history of it. Him and Shane go crazy with it. And I was like the new guy. I was like, all right, let me go check out. There was an event, and I forget which one it was, but like getting back into wrestling. And then this year, like looking at wrestling cards, yeah, tying it up with the Eddie Guerrero and like all the like Hispanic heritage shit. Like it's crossing over into everything for me.
Yeah.
And shout out to Johnny,
And
because me and Johnny, we talked about lowriders when we first had them on the podcast.
That's right.
Building lowrider model cars, like that's something me and him have in common. Like, yeah, that definitely reminds me of my childhood for sure. We gotta sprinkle some of this in this week. We have pretty crazy news. I know last week we talked about looking at some of the tops Chrome Marvel that was released in UK, which now apparently you can buy at Dave and Adams for like $700 a box. It's kind of wild, but Elusive, Sergio. I don't know how much you guys been following the card world this week, but they officially announced it. It's official now, dog.
Yeah, that's dope. I can't wait. I mean, we kind of got we discussed pretty thoroughly the Marvel side of things, but
Yeah,
it'd be dope to see what they do with the Disney IP and with the Star Wars IP for sure.
yeah.
well, they're already doing Star Wars, but now they got Disney and the Marvel side. I think they announced in 2026 they're gonna get wrestling and I
Nice.
believe UFC or I forget which one.
yep.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's
One
gonna
of,
be dope.
So they're
one
only
of the
everything.
cons, one of the cons that I've heard is that the card stock is really good, so that's a plus.
Yeah.
I'd have to see again. Like, listen, with Marvel cards, do inserts matter? Like more in Marvel cards, like a Marvel card set, just because of like the history of like how
That's a great question.
so long?
I
I
think
think
it
it
depends
does.
who you ask. I think it
Yeah,
depends who you ask.
that's true. Yeah, that's true.
I think it depends who you ask. I think Upper Deck has changed the structure of sets so much that you can't count on it. And what I mean by that is, I mean, look at the difference between like the latest beginnings and the first beginning set.
Yeah.
They remove inserts, they remove subsets, and put it in different products, and so there's no consistency with the product. So like when you get something like even like a metal set, there's no consistency even with between those, right? Like who knows what Batman metal is gonna look like? Is it gonna look like Avengers metal? Is it gonna look like Spider-Man metal? They change the format so often
Yeah.
that is tough, and you know, for anyone who follows these releases, which I know Doom is pretty big on, you kind of hold your breath because you don't know what to expect. So it's hard to get in. It's hard to like get behind sets when it came to Upper Deck. Whereas Topps is pretty consistent with their stuff. You get Topps Chrome every year. Like they don't change any. They're not big on inserts, granted, but you know what to expect from a set perspective from them.
What do you think kind of happens with like the masterpiece, like, you know, original art sets? Like, you think Topps dabbles into that? Are they gonna?
I don't know the answer to that question. I will say it was interesting that in this promo they really only focus on MCU. They don't show any type of comic art or any original art related Marvel stuff. It's really focused on the MCU. So I'm thinking that's going to be their bread and butter, is like the MCU stuff. And listen, if they can get these actors to sign on and do on-card autos, to me that's kind of a game changer, because we've never had that from Upper Deck. And so look what they did with like I think Star Wars. They do a premium set called Star Wars Stellar, and they got freaking Harrison Ford signing on-card autos.
Yeah.
You know, Mark Hamill's, you know, signing on-card. Carrie Fisher had autographs. James Earl Jones. Like
R.I.P.
these are you know, rest in peace. These are legends, and they were able to get them on card. If that's the approach that they're gonna take with the MCU stuff, imagine Robert Downey Jr. Iron Man autos, or even
what would that do to the Rittenhouse OG one though? I do wonder.
Yeah, I'd be interested.
You never forget your first. I tell people all the time, like I know people always worry, but like you never forget your first. And like whatever happens after that, you know, it's gonna happen. But when people say, "Hey, what was the first one?" People always look
even wrestling, like you go to the first ones; those still hold up.
You go back to your first love all the time. And like Sergio, you dabble. You're pretty heavy into comics, right? Like think about how the MCU was influencing the comic book market. People weren't going like
you know, that's like the latest one thing. That's the one thing that I hate probably the most with like you know, being in the comic like realm, and then like the movie spec. I hate it, me personally, but that's just me. You know, that's the angry old man in me.
No, listen. It's not my cup of tea either. But I can't ignore it. Like I was buying and selling comic books. I had to have that stuff. That's what people were looking for.
Yeah,
of course.
People saw Guardians of the Galaxy was looking for Star-Lord's first appearance. I remember when that happened.
No.
You know? So
yeah, that's one thing I've always wondered about comics, man. Like how many people, if like the only way obviously to figure this out is if there was no value for any of it. But you know, the people that go for keys and first appearances when the covers ain't it. Because there's some dope covers that are first appearances for sure.
Yeah.
But a lot of them, to me, they're not there, and people still buy them. You know, obviously because there's monetary value in it. I wonder how many people would just gravitate towards the artwork that they liked if it wasn't all about just the value in keys and first appearances.
Well, think about it. You don't have to worry about that with cards. Robert Downey's first auto has Robert Downey Jr. front and center.
Yeah.
It's not even an issue. But like you're 100% like, listen, I bought a bunch of copies of Iron Man 55, which is the first appearance of Thanos. He's not on the cover.
Yeah.
He's towards the end of the book. Like, you know what I mean? Like people
I personally love that. I love like sometimes when it's like a dope panel that you love, you know, and like you search for a panel, but like the cover is like kind of whack, and people are like, you wouldn't understand why you collect that cover, but it's just like, you know.
Yeah, you're looking at the interior artwork. Yeah, we'll see.
Well, here's you know, with Topps, my question is, you know, how far would you be able to go with like the MCU stuff? Because at one point, I mean, like I still want to see like some original art sets, like something a little different, inserts. We talked about it last week, like the 70s, the 70s stickers, you know, all white.
Yeah, the Topps stickers.
Simple, you know,
they had a 2001 Topps set. That's the interesting thing that we're all waiting. What are they gonna tap in? Is it gonna be 70% MCU 30%, like comic book art, is going to be like the total opposite of what Upper Deck did. I don't know. We're going to wait and see. Are we going to see original art? We don't know.
I would love for them to do original art sets and think about how big Fanatics is. They can go out and get the artists, could get, people like Alex Ross.
And, they do something like that. That's going to be special, right? Like,
yeah.
The Upper Deck wasn't able to do
granted, they this is not like a dunk on Upper Deck because Upper Deck did a good job of what they have. Like these sets have budgets attached to them and they can only do so much.
Mm-hmm.
But when you're talking about a company like Topps, Fanatics Fest was crazy. Like look at all the wrestlers they got to show up in the middle of like their schedules, all these athletes that they got to show up, and they can do that. If they can do that with athletes and actors, then you gonna tell me that they can't do that with artists?
Right, and it's going into effect Q1 2025, which again, I know we followed it, Tim. Like that's when they're gonna announce, or they announced they're gonna have a West Coast Fanatics Live in California, right? So that lines up with maybe getting a bunch of these actors to like do this huge Marvel Topps promo event. We'll see, man. It's a wait and see. To wait and see what they do. How's it gonna be different from Upper Deck? I don't know. In the meantime, we're gonna have DC hit Upper Deck, so all those classic inserts.
Well, they could have replaced like the Tinkerbell to the left with like maybe a Batman. I'll even give you a Superman, but
that's Inside Out, dog.
Yeah, it's Inside Out. But look, they don't know DC. They got Marvel. You know what I mean, like they got Mickey here though.
They got Mickey.
Yeah. I definitely see people going crazy for like the Mickey Gold, like 101.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Like what?
I mean,
chromium sets. They got really nice chromium sets.
They're going crazy for those fake autos, right, dude? You and I were looking at those Mickey Mouse and Woody and Toy Story autos.
People hate those facsimile autos, though.
Yo, they sell for money though. We were looking at therapy. It's crazy.
I like them. I think they're funny. Like, but just hearing other people talk about this whole thing the other day is like, no, people just don't rock with it. Like the current Marvel card people don't rock with it.
What's that? Just out of curiosity for kicks, like what's the comp on it?
For one of those autos? Let's check.
Yeah.
Let's check.
Wait, what was that?
Yeah, no, don't worry about that yet. Let's check.
Okay, my bad.
Marvel Topps Chrome, what is it? Auto? 10,000 OVO.
Oh, okay.
Let's see. Let's go to Soul.
That's crazy.
10,000 OVO.
You gotta check the Disney ones. The Disney ones probably have more comps.
Disney. Here you go. So we can check.
$5,000.
This went on the best offer. I don't know exactly what that is, but let's just look at this real quick. You got a Mickey and a Minnie numbered out of 99, right?
Mm-hmm.
With the little autos for $338 as a PSA 9. I mean that's not cheap. We got this 149. Let's really double check this. Let's get to the real point. All right, I got the number. Let's play a little game. All right, so here we go. This is the quad, right? Out of 10, there's parallels of this stuff too, mind you. So there's a 1 of 1. This is just the out of 10. This guy put it up for $44.99 euros OBO. What do y'all think it sold for?
2,800.
2,800. Okay.
It's a 101.
It's a ridiculous
price. No, it's out of 10.
$3,000 maybe.
$3,000. Elusive. What do you think it sold for? Did we lose Elusive?
We're gonna have to pass Elusive past that one.
Elusive, where's Elusive?
We lost him.
We lost him. He quit on us.
It's okay. It wouldn't be the first time. Let's keep it moving.
Wow, we're keeping this
Negative.
in, by the way.
I'm just
Okay, all right. I was about to say, how much? How much did it sell for?
I don't know. Probably too much.
He's definitely sleeping.
He came to in his dream. You're just talking shit in his dream. He like, you know.
All right. This sold for 2,999 euros out of 10. Which how much is that in USD? Let's see.
Like 3,500.
$3,322. So yeah, there's a demand for facsimile autos, and they're popular, I guess. I mean, there you go. So we'll see.
Yeah.
People don't like them, but if they're moving, people are gonna love them. You feel me? Like this is just how it's gonna go. And one more thing about this top stuff. Let's talk about this. Frank Miller had 30 sketch cards in this set. We get to see our first one. It posted for $60,000 OBO. It was pulled down, so who knows if it sold or what it sold for. But yeah, man, like Sergio, what's going on here, bro?
I can't even. I mean, Electra has a strong jawline. Let's start with that. I don't even think I can like actually comment on like what I think about this.
It's yeah. I mean, like the quality of artwork over time is definitely taking a hit. But
listen,
like,
it's shout out to Frank Miller. He's up there.
Shout out to Frank. Man.
They're rare, right? I don't think he's had many pack pool sketch cards. This might be the only ones.
He doesn't have many. I don't think he has any sketch cards. Plus, like, the guy can't finish a signing. There's videos online of him, having to leave signings early and stuff like that. He's,
Yeah, I was gonna say no. Sergio had some of his sketches that were doomed. They were like this.
Definitely weren't, but I mean, they had a vibe to this for sure. Obviously, like, hopefully he's doing well. I know, like, his health is a concern over time, right? Up there in age. Outside of the artwork and what you feel about the artwork, there's literally no design on this sketch card stock. Right, there's no effort in like just designing. Even if we go to the back, it's very minimal. Like it's super beat up for some reason. Like this is just a poor example of what a Marvel sketch card is. If you're Topps and you're introducing a new group, a new consumer, and introducing them to Marvel cards, this is just a very poor representation of what sketch cards look like.
I mean, you wouldn't even know it's a Topps card from the front,
right?
Yeah,
like that's
like the weirdest. That's the weirdest part. I mean, listen,
that's the most disappointing part about it. Like it seems like they just didn't even put effort in this.
I don't know. Shout out to whoever buys this. You know why you're buying it.
Looks like that looks like a cheap like con blank. You know what I mean?
It looks like a blank. Yeah, it looks like a blank that you can buy from Amazon, or just just get a thin blank. But yeah, anyone buying this, like you're obviously buying it because of the name, because of the rarity. But
what's the price tag on it?
$60K OBO. Obviously they're just trying to get attention. I'm sure someone reached out and they probably
down
got
payment on the house.
Yeah.
So what do you think was the final price on?
No idea, bro. Depends whoever.
If you had to throw a number on there, be like,
$1,000. I don't know. I don't think you get a crazy offer, but
Elusive made a great point off air. He said, people buy abstract art all the time.
Yeah.
All right. People buy simple stuff all the time.
So. If you're a diehard Frank Miller fan and you have car money to play around with, why not?
No, there's definitely people buying bananas on wood boards, for a couple bucks. So So if he moves this for $60K, shout out to Frank Miller.
Yeah.
I mean, if anyone could do a sketch card like this and sell it for thousands of dollars, it's probably him, right?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And they try to tie it in with the 60-year anniversary of Daredevil. So I get what they're doing, but it's just
it's so weird though. Is that
effort, man, on the design at least. Right?
Top says other sketch cards, no? And they have like the Star Wars like design stuff in the front.
Yeah. It's not like it's nothing new. That they have sketch cards in their other IPs. So just confusing. And
I'm interested to see like in the other Frank Miller sketches. I want to go through like I want to build like an album of like the Frank Miller.
Every single image.
Yeah.
I'm sure someone out there is doing it for sure.
Oh yeah. They got
That's
like a museum.
Tops is here. Hope you enjoy, collecting Marvel Tops card. We'll see what they introduce. That's about it for this week, y'all.
Any shout outs, anti shout outs?
Yeah, let's get into our shout outs and anti shout outs. I want to put Sergio on the spot. Sergio, kick us off, dog.
Damn. Well, I definitely don't. I don't even have anything remotely close to an anti shout out, just because I've been busy like outside of like IG. You know what I mean? Like I've been like here and there. I might like hop on and stuff really quick. So if I miss someone's like post or something, hey, my bad. But
yeah,
we've been we've been tagging it up on a couple other things. Obviously, Marvel vs. Capcom. I don't have a shout out this week, but shout out. Let me see. Actually, you know what? Shout out to Tim, man. Shout out to Tim. We were talking a little bit before. We were talking about New York City Comic Con, and I know we talked about like just this part of like the collector culture. When it's like, hey, like, look, me and Tim have never met. Tim's gonna do me a favor as a collector, as a friend, and that's dope. Because you don't usually share those kind of things with certain friendships. There's certain friends that like you just don't do those kind of things with. So, shout out to you. Shout out to that culture, man. And it's not about it's not even about the favor. It's literally the fact that like you would take a little bit of time out of your day to do that for somebody else. You know what I mean? So, shout out to that. Shout out to Tim. Shout out to positivity and love, positivity, love, let's not throw no shit, any shade out there.
yeah, we definitely need more of that in the hobby, for sure.
Yeah, but don't get it twisted, like don't
get it twisted. Wow, that quickly changed.
Yeah. Shout out to Swami. Shout out to Swami. He popped in the Discord a couple nights ago, and so it was good to hear from him. It was good to hear that he was doing good. So shout out to Swami. At the end of the day, it's like Sergio. Listen, man, we're all people. We can get a little bit obsessive when it comes to expensive cardboard, but listen, man, it don't take much to just be a good person sometimes. So. I hope everybody's doing all right out there.
100%.
My shout out this week, man. I'm gonna shout out True Blue, man, and shout out True Blue. He's always supporting the pod as well as Retroverse UK. They're the first really ones that put us on the map when we did the first Mental Con, and then True Blue has since always supported us and trying to help us grow the YouTube channel. So I appreciate that, Nate. We're going to be doing a State of the Hobby episode soon with us, Nate, Retro Specs, and we're going to have Brian Marvel cards up. And then me and Off-White Tim, we just got to schedule a cards and coffee as well. Nice. So shout out to all you. And then I'm also going to shout out this IG page called Retro Japan. A lot of us already follow it, but it's a dope page if you're into anime for the most part. And it just has that, Sergio alluded to something earlier in regards to, watching movies, and there was like a certain gradiness to the older movies. Well, he kind of has that graininess vibe across his IG page, so shout out to Retro Japan once again. And yeah, I don't really have an anti shout out, but it's just funny. I will say this: it's just funny when people can't just mention your name. Like, it's almost like, are we Beetlejuice? You know what I mean? Like if you name us 3 times, is something gonna happen? Like, don't be scared to say our name. You know what I mean? It's not a big deal. You're gonna be okay. I promise you.
Oh, wow.
I like it. Shout outs. Shout out to Nathan. One of the most
Nathan's
genuine, just nice people out there. Yeah, and we're close to 100 subscribers. Shout out to all the new subscribers, new people commenting, listening, actually enjoying the podcast. Please, if Sergio goes crazy, just ignore it. He's our elder.
Sergio's on timeout from comments. Don't even worry about it, guys. You guys are free.
What do they say? Some people like to watch the world burn, my friend.
Wow. He's a Joker collector.
He is.
He just revealed it.
Come on, Tank.
No. Real talk, though. Real talk, real fast. Shout out to you guys. You guys been grinding. You guys been consistent. You guys provide a different type of content than other people in the hobby, which is needed. So shout out to y'all, man. Give you flowers.
Thank you, Tim. Appreciate it, man.
Shout out to Raj. He's one of the biggest supporters. Finally got to talk to him on camera, which is cool. And meeting some collectors I haven't really talked to, but shout out to him. Shout out to Hermit. And just shout out to all the homies for real.
Yeah, another one that supports you guys heavy is or specifically you, Doom, I would say, is Donnie Boy.
Yeah, shout out Donnie Boy McCoy. Shout out to him. Anti shout outs. Honestly, there's so many.
You got paralysis by analysis?
There's so many anti shout outs. But it's not even like, why even? You know what I mean? Yeah. That's what it is. Yeah, man.
Nah, you gotta give us one.
Nah. It's nah, like it's just a lot. It's just, it's what it is. Yeah, noted. You just take mental notes. Like, cool, got that. But yeah.
Mental notes.
Hopefully, it's been a fun week though. I enjoyed it. I always enjoy talking to you guys.
Yeah.
And hopefully, we keep it going.
Shout
out to Johnny too. Johnny, please, whenever you can, just whoop Sergio's ass on Marvel vs. Capcom.
Please,
just one time for us, please. Yeah. Talk a lot of smack over here.
Yeah. That's great.
Listen, drop your gamer tag in the comments.
Yeah, he did. He sent your location. He dropped it. He sent you the
did
location.
Send it to. He took your screenshot, and you couldn't.
You were crickets.
He's on his Switch. I told him he has to get the PS5, bro.
My wife got a PS5. I might have to.
There you go.
Yo, Tim, you know the crazy thing though? Sergio has a Switch, right?
Wow.
No, I don't have a Switch.
Wait, how were you playing Among Us with us then?
No, on the phone.
Oh, all right, you lucky. Guys, how about you subscribe to us and push our numbers up? That way we can monetize this channel and we can get Sergio a Switch. That way Johnny can whoop his ass. How about that?
Now you know what? Listen, I'm gonna buy the game for the PS5, and I gotta see it firsthand, and I'll report back to you guys. If he's really him, I'll let y'all know.
I've mentioned this before, and I've said it, said it publicly to you guys. If you guys want to set up the stream, and have a tourney, we could run that,
Well, throw your gamer tag out there.
We could do cash prizes giveaway. We could have all kind of fun.
All right, Sergio, go ahead.
So for you,
poker included. For
you, I mean, that's for the Patreon. Got behind closed doors. But for you collectors out there that want to throw those Marvel's Capcom 2 hands, drop your gamer tag down below.
Why don't you drop yours to anyone listening?
We gonna put it in the description.
What is that?
Yeah, we put in Sergio's gamer tag in the description. Description of the video.
Yeah.
That's what we're gonna do.
And report back if he takes an L.
They're gonna troll him.
I'm gonna keep count. Just matter of fact, send me a message if you beat him. That way I can keep count.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And I do last night. I mean, before we end, I want to apologize because I ain't gonna lie to you. You know, I am getting older because I definitely dozed off a little bit of this episode. I apologize. I definitely apologize. I woke up there was a few key words that definitely set up the alarms. But other than that, I apologize, guys.
No, it's all good.
It was I don't know what it was. Like maybe some, you know, it was like Sergio said. I have to blame it on the carne asada.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
His ears got warm, and he's like, "Wake up, Elusive! Someone's talking shit." He's like, "Oh,
whoa, where?"
he came to, you know.
And if you guys haven't tried a torta, go get a torta from a reputable Mexican restaurant, please.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
With a jajito.
The jarritos.
You gotta do it right.
Manzanitas, come on.
Listen, Tim, get your jarrito and download whatever's Capcom too.
Or a fresco.
I want to see this firsthand. I
mean, look, Tim, I don't want you to set high expectations. Sergio says a lot of things. Have a great week, guys.
Later. Peace.
Later.